Hey guys, it is me, the former film student, back today with episode 22 of 31 Nights, 31 Frights, the series where I review a different horror film every day of October from the 1st all the way to the 31st. We are on episode 22. Like I said, we've talked about 21 other horror films in the month of October, and I hope that you guys are enjoying this series and having as much fun watching them as I am making them. It is taking a lot out of me to put out a review every day, but I am still having a really good time talking about all these different horror films. It's gotten me to rewatch a lot of horror films that I may have not otherwise rewatched, so I'm having a lot of fun doing that as well. I just love watching horror films in October. It just feels like the right thing to do. But with all that being said, let's get right into this episode with talking about 2019's Ready or Not. So as I mentioned, Ready or Not was released in 2019. It stars Samara Weaving, Andy McDowell, and Adam Brody, among a bunch of other different actors and actresses, all of them doing a great job. But anyway, the film sort of boils down to Samara Weaving's character, who is the bride-to-be, and once she is married to this guy, she finds out that she has to play a game with his family on her wedding night. And she unfortunately pulls the wrong card at the table and must play hide and seek, but it's not just your regular hide and seek, as she has to fight for her life as the family hunts down and tries to kill her. So yeah, the premise of the film is pretty silly, it's pretty stupid, and I remember saying that when I saw the trailers, like, oh, this just looks like a pretty dumb, pretty silly film, and then I was able to actually sit down and watch it, and I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Guys, I really recommend watching this film. If you're looking for a good time, if you're someone who doesn't really like horror films that are scary and you just like really fun, really entertaining films, then this one is for you. It's on HBO Max right now, so if you guys do have HBO, you can go check it out there. It's streaming for free. Check it out because this movie is a damn good time. This movie has a lot of things going for it. Obviously, the plot is stupid and it's kind of silly, but the film doesn't take itself very seriously. Samara Weaving is also really, really great as the lead character in this film. She's very charming, very likable, and she just brings a lot to the character. And I think they do a good job of writing her, too. So you understand her purpose in this film. You understand why things are the way they are, why she is the way she is. She's a character who hasn't really had a lot of family presence in her life, so marrying into this big family is a big deal for her. So it's pretty heartbreaking when this family tries to kill her, and so it does have a little bit of emotional weight and a lot of relatability behind it. But obviously, the most fun aspect of the film is like this big game of hide and seek that they play. They're trying to hunt her down, they're trying to kill her, and she's doing her best to survive. It plays for a lot of laughs, but also a lot of thrilling moments as well. Like I said, this movie is just as much a comedy as it is a thriller. It is a lot of fun. There are some very funny moments. There's a scene in particular that makes me laugh every time I watch it. There's this kid in the film because it's obviously a big family wedding, so there's some young kids, and this kid shows up and she just absolutely decks him and punches him in the face. And I don't want to spoil any other scenes, but that one just had me rolling. It was an incredibly funny scene, and there's a lot of scenes like that in this movie. Scenes where, the film clearly acknowledges that it's not trying to take itself super seriously. It's not trying to be this dark, gritty thriller. It's trying to be this fun, entertaining thriller action film with comedy elements sprinkled throughout. And I love movies that are self aware. I love movies that know what they're trying to be, because not every film needs to or even wants to try to be this highly intellectual, incredibly well made, artsy fartsy film. And as much as I like those art house films, those films that really challenge you on an intellectual level, maybe can change your worldview or change how you see things, I love that stuff. But I also love movies like this, movies that are just sort of dumb, pure fun, and that are handled competently well. Because even if a movie's, big and silly, like movies like Transformers or most of the DC cinematic films, I really don't enjoy those movies as much because, yes, they're kind of silly and stupid, but they're not competently made enough from an artistic standpoint and a filmmaking standpoint. And not that Ready or Not is this incredibly well made film. I don't remember the director's name. It's directed by two guys. I do apologize for not knowing their names. But it's not this incredibly well made film. It's not super well shot, but it does everything just good enough. The cinematography is fine. It's competently done. There's some good shots in here. The music is utilized well and is composed well. The acting, for the most part, is pretty solid, especially from Samara Weaving. And everything from a technical level is done just good enough to where it doesn't detract from my enjoyment in the film, and I can just sit back and have a good time. And that's what this movie is. It's simply a good time. It's a dumb, fun action thriller comedy that you can just sort of sit back, watch with a group of friends, and just sort of have a good time watching it. I wouldn't go as far as to call this movie a beer movie, a movie that's only good if you're having a couple of drinks with friends. You know, you can enjoy this movie sober. But I would, go as far as to say is this is just a great movie to watch with a group of people. Of course, you can have a lot of enjoyment on your own with it. It's just, again, a fun movie. I don't really have a ton to say about this film. I think the plot is silly, but they do enough job of giving every character enough depth and character. Not only Samara Weaving's character, but Adam Brody's character also. They do a good job of making him feel like he has a personality, and every character in the film sort of feels like their own character. It doesn't feel like any of their personalities sort of blend together, which I really appreciate. In a film with a larger cast like this, it's, sometimes happens where they don't pay enough attention to some of the minor characters, but I think they do a good job in this film of giving each character their sort of own moment to shine. Of course, Samara Weaving is the star of the film and sort of steals the show in every scene she's in. But as a whole, I just really enjoy this movie. I think it's a really fun time. I've only seen it twice. I was able to rent it last year when it came out, on VOD and stuff like that. And then I rewatched it recently, like I said, on HBO Max, for this review. And yeah, I actually didn't really plan on reviewing this film. It wasn't on my initial list. But rewatching it, I just had such a good time watching it and had so much fun and enjoyment during the experience, that I was able to, kind of move some stuff out of the way, shuffle some things around, and actually do a review on it. But another thing that I didn't mention, and I want to talk about it before I go, is that this movie, again, is really efficient. And again, I'll reiterate how much I love efficient horror thrillers. And this one does that. This movie is an hour and 34 minutes long with credits. It is a very short, very fun, very entertaining film, so it won't take up a lot of your time. You can just sort of sit down for 90 minutes and just sort of lay back and have a good time watching this flick. I really enjoy this movie, guys. I don't have a ton to say about it. The action is fun. It's very thrilling in certain parts. The comedy is on point. The acting is pretty good, and the film is pretty competently made from a technical standpoint. There's a lot of fun to be had in this film. I do highly recommend it. Again, if you do have HBO Max, you can go check it out there. But I don't really have anything else to say about this film. That is it for today, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you seen Ready or Not? What are your thoughts on it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I do recommend this film, so if you do watch it, I do apologize if you do not like it or you hate it. But with all that being said, as always, if you liked the video, make sure to click the like button. Subscribe to me if you'd like to hear more from me. Make sure you click the little bell notification so you do get notified when I post new videos. And as always, I will see you guys on the next episode.